Hey everybody, welcome to week 44. So, fun little fact, my daughter had a small accident with my old iPhone, and as a result, I have the new iPhone 11 Pro Max thing. So I actually did all this week's video with that phone, and so we're seeing a lot of wide angle shots. That's where that's from. Just trying to see if I can get used to using my phone instead of a larger DSLR camera. Started the week off with some bench press and overhead press, and then moved on to a little bit more of the trolley arm training that I've been doing in the past, as you can see here with the dumbbells and then the trolley arm rows. And I use these a lot. I got a message on Instagram the other day, which, by the way, if you haven't followed me yet, go ahead and follow me at _Kurtlocker, KURTLOCKER. I post all my training footage, a consolidated version of it, as I do it day to day on there. But I got a message, anyways, on Instagram saying that I use my trolley arms more than anybody that they had ever seen, which I took as a compliment. I really enjoy using them. I think they add a lot to my training, and I'll eventually stop talking about doing a review and actually do a review. So what you're looking at here, this is a 85-pound squat, and I failed because I farted, and I still think farts are funny. Failed in the hole, loaded it back up, got reset, and went back after it and knocked out a decently healthy double. This is low bar squatting because this is on Tuesday, and this double went pretty well. Big fan of using those safety straps, and they really were beneficial on that evening. I don't like failing. I don't like ditching. I probably should have ditched a little bit more elegantly, but it is what it is. After that, moved on to some Romanian deadlifts, which these feel nice. Did them double overhand, no straps. And I believe this is 365. Moved nicely, and again, just using those trolley arms for everything that they're worth. After RDLs, I moved on to these barbell lunges. Sorry, not barbell lunges, but SSB lunges. And again, just trying to keep it light at 160. I'm hoping that after my shoulder surgery that happens in about 1 week, that I'll be able to use the SSB for squatting. That, or I'm going to rig up something with my trolley arm. I do want to eventually get a Sorinex J squat, and Sorinex has said that they would make me a J squat attachment with a 5/8 inch pinhole instead of the 1 inch pinhole, so that it will fit my row trolley arms. Move on to Wednesday, and this is some push press action, and it moved decently nice. I haven't really done push press that much ever since finding out that my shoulder was as bad as it was. And then moved on to this close grip Swiss bar bench, which again moved pretty decent. I'm not happy with it necessarily, but it moved pretty good and almost no pain. And after that, I finished with these sweet hammer curls using the DB15s, which if you've seen my review, I appreciate it. If you haven't seen my review, go ahead and click above for my true feelings on the DB15s. And then I moved on to these tricep push downs. I'm using a Rogue Red band, which is their lightest weight band, to hold the loading pin from bouncing around too much. When I have a set of 20 like you see here, it tends to bounce around a little bit just because the motion is going so quickly. After that, we went to some 15-inch deadlifts. This is 475. I'll find the number eventually. 475 for a nice double. Wish I had gone to 500. I should have gone to 500, but I didn't. After that, moved on to these high bar squats, which you're looking at 335 pounds. These move pretty nice. Again, high bar is not something I do very often, but it does seem to be something I'm decent at, so maybe I should concentrate on that at the beginning of the next cycle, that I can actually train barbell movements. Finished up that night with some Mike Bartos I-beam rows. And again, these are just high rows with the I-beam. I saw a variation on this where they actually grab the I-beam by the whole I-beam. Like, I'm just holding it at the bottom flange, but they're holding it on the top. So I think I'm going to try that on the next iteration just to see if that changes the grip. After that, I moved on to some sweet trolley arm Viking presses on Strongman Saturday. Here's a interesting view that you don't usually get to see. Anyways, these aren't really a Viking press per se. They're just kind of an interesting movement. I think that in the future I might try to throw my pull-up bar on the trolley arms so I join them together, which is how I do for Car Deadlift Simulator, and just see how well I can actually make this movement simulate a Viking press. I think there'd be a lot of benefit in having a Viking press simulator like this, and you can see the towels worked really well so that I don't mar up my trolley arms too much. After that, moved on to these Husafell carries. Ended up working up to 285 pounds, which is really not that heavy for a Husafell. I was just out there having fun with it, and then we moved on to these sled drags for the second portion of it. The sled drags ended up getting decently heavy, and it followed suit with the weight that was loaded into the Husafell. Here's another angle, exact same thing. You can see the pick is going pretty well. I'm trying to stay off the H-stone until I'm actually moving, trying to treat it like a competitor ready, go type event. But short choppy steps are working pretty well here. This tombstone is freaking awesome, this H-stone. Made by a guy here in Dallas, Texas, Music Metalworks. Awesome person to reach out to. It has a loading pin in there, and I'm able to get a clamp on there and load a significant amount of weight just on the pin without even dropping anything in the bottom of the stone. Using a tire with a 220 sandbag on top of it for the arm-over-arm pull. After that, I did some sandbag tosses, which I haven't done since training for Oklahoma's Strongest Man. For whatever reason, it was loaded up to 55 pounds, and I just decided to roll with it, and so I did all my swings and throws, 3 sets of 5, with 55 pounds. These are moving pretty decent, but definitely not as well as they were moving when I was actually training them for Oklahoma's Strongest Man, though. Just something to continue working on maybe later on after my shoulder is all better. I do seem to be decent at these, but I think it's just because I own the piece of equipment to actually train them. I think that there's definitely some specificity that I gain because I'm willing to purchase the implement that I'm going to compete with. Just my opinion. After that, I moved on to some duck walk with some fat grips on them. This is a Titan loading pin. If you've seen my review, thank you. If you haven't seen my review, click above for that. And we ended up working up to a decently heavy weight to the point where I actually dropped it on this run right here. I had 2 drops on the way back, but it's less because of the weight actually in the hand. It's more just because of how the grip is kind of slipping off of the handle itself. But anyways, that's it for week 44. I appreciate you guys watching my training footage. If you could, go ahead and subscribe while you sit here and watch Captain America swing.